In today's video, we're going to be highlighting some very underrated mystic skills and where wins meet. Typically, a lot of people use the same mystic skills it seems like in certain situations. There's always like the best PvP ones, the best PvE ones, but I've recently played around with a few of them that a lot of people don't tend to use, and honestly, I was a bit surprised. So let's just go ahead and jump into a little bit more about some of these underrated mystic skills that you might want to start using, starting with Honking Havoc. As you can tell, when I use it in PvE situations, especially towards bosses, they actually slow down quite a bit, allowing me to dish off even more damage or heal if I have to. When we jump into the specifics, we can learn a little bit more about what this mystic skill has to offer, and honestly, I've been using it a lot in boss battles and especially trials. So if you take a closer look at it, you can see that it actually deals AoE damage, which is great when you have a large amount of just PvE mobs as well. And you can see that there's that 6-second breath hold, which is honestly a huge amount of time, especially in just real world battles here. If you take a closer look, you can also see that it's disabled in co-op and online mode. So again, this is more so like PvE solo type of things in regards to the type of content you'll be using this for. If you take a closer look at what it looks like when you actually upgrade this mystic skill, it just gets better and better. You can see that it boosts the overall duration, decreases the vitality cost, increases the damage, and just really kind of makes it as powerful as possible. Friendly reminder too, if you guys actually enjoy this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Okay, off to the next one. Now this next one is actually highlighting two mystic skills that don't tend to be used very often together. What I like to do is kind of group up a large amount of mobs and then use Ghost Bind into Lion's Roar. I have used this in a handful of situations in the open world, especially like these little camp areas or forts and things like that, and I've had a ton of success. It's also a lot of fun if you can actually pull it off in like 1v1 situations, but again, Ghostbind doesn't really react the same way towards other players than it does in like PvE situations. So here's a little illustration too. It can hit tons and tons of mobs. Like I think I've hit like 8 or 9 mobs at the same time in certain situations. And as you upgrade it, it'll just dish off more damage and get some more benefits. You could potentially pair this with Guardian Palm, which is more typical, but I've been enjoying using Lion's Roar. It kind of just does some great AoE damage to everything all in one area. The other thing I want to call out is that Lion's Roar actually works really well with Leaping Toad too. So if you really wanted to play around with it, you could max out Leaping Toad to kind of really get that huge AoE slam like you see right there, to then go into Lion's Roar to dish off even more damage. And this last mystic skill is great when exploring new PvE areas because it just makes your life so much easier. If you're like me, you love Touch of Death, right? You hit it once and basically a mob just gets deleted just like that. There is a mystic skill where you can actually set yourself up just like this to do an additional Touch of Death. The downside is that cooldown for this is pretty high when you're lower leveled, but when you max it out, it does get quite a bit decreased and can essentially get reset very, very fast if you're hitting multiple mobs at the same time with it. Just to be a little bit more specific too, I'm going to go ahead and just showcase this once more. So of course, Touch of Death, again, this is like the perfect scenario when it comes to PvE content. I'm going to go ahead and just wait for this to reset really quick, and then we'll just jump into this next pile and get a little bit more Touch of Deaths in. So this is the actual description of Blinding Mist. It basically sets you up for Touch of Death. It deals tons of damage. If you jump into the specifics, you can see you can increase the duration of it, the damage of Touch of Death, reduce the vitality. This one right here, basically each unit that's affected by the skill will refund vitality and also reduce the skill cooldown by 5 seconds, which is insane, honestly. So again, just like Ghostbind that we talked about, if you can dish off this mystic skill in a large group of mobs, then the cooldown won't be as bad and you'll be able to dish it off a little bit faster. So as we can see, I used one touch of death on this mob right here. I'll use it again. There you go. I can do touch of death again, and then he's done. So again, this is a lot of fun. Most of these skills I highlighted are for PvE situations, but with the new map coming out soon and just players exploring new areas, these could just save you tons and tons of time, especially if you have a lot of mobs in front of you. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for some more Where Winds Meet content coming soon.